Now to our in-depth coverage of the Gerald Goines murder trial. The former police narcotics officer is accused of falsifying government records for a no-knock search warrant on Harding Street that killed Regina Nicholas and Dennis Tuttle. Both sides have rested and closing arguments begin tomorrow. KPRC2 investigative reporter Mario Diaz has been covering this case for us for 5 years now. He's joining us live in Studio A along with criminal defense attorney Joe Vinas. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for being here. Mario, for people just coming in, where are we at right now?
Well, we have wrapped up both sides presenting in this case, meaning that the state has said everything they could possibly say about this case, and the defense team has said everything they could possibly say about this case. So everything in terms of presentation is officially to the side. Now you're going to have what is called the charging conversations. And Joe, I know you understand this well.
Right.
Most folks at home, they're having their coffee, they're eating their cereal this morning. What's a charging conversation?
Sure. So the charging conference that they're having this morning, and they should start that in about an hour or so, the lawyers are getting together with the judge, and the judge will prepare what's called the jury charge, which is the list of instructions that can get pretty lengthy. A lot of definitions, terms that we use, what crimes the jury could find Mr. Goines guilty of or acquit him on the charges. So these are really just the instructions to the jury, and they're arguing right now, or they will be soon, about what goes into those instructions.
This trial went on for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It was expected to last for about 3 to 4. I thought it might go 5 to 7, just because we know how government works. We also know that there were so many witnesses, Zach, that they want to bring forward. But, you know, Gerald Goines, he's confident right now because they didn't have many witnesses come out on his side to have to defend him. He feels that's a really good thing. Think about it. This man's been charged with murder of 2 individuals, tampering with a government document, and they only brought 3 people out for his defense. Now, keep in mind, as Joe knows, there weren't many people from HPD in terms of people who have known him for many years. These were people that were subpoenaed that were part of the aftermath, the aftermath of this deadly raid. You had his partner, his very close friend, testify on behalf of the state against him.
Interesting.
But you know, there's a message being sent today by the jury not being there, right? Because you're having the charge. I mean, and the message is very simple. This conversation, these charging conference, it can be a bit testy today because the jury's not going to be back.
Right. So when you have it in a pretty easy 2 or 3 day trial, the charging conference might take an hour, 45 minutes, but you've got 2-week trial with a lot of technical evidence, a lot of back and forth. There was, 5 years of pretrial wrangling going on. So all these issues, this is kind of where they come to a head. And like we talked about last week, if a case goes up on appeal, the number one issue that an appellate court looks at is errors in the jury charge. So they're going to make sure this thing is airtight and locked down.
Closing arguments, as we just mentioned, start tomorrow. Wednesday.
Or something. I'm sorry, tomorrow.
Tuesday.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, it's all good. How long?
Expect deliberations to go.
How long?
You don't know. That's
right.
I mean, this is the theater of the unexpected. Courtrooms are. I always like to say that. Boxing rings and courtrooms. Anything can happen. You've seen this trial closely. You have been watching all of the people in and out. Because of the fact that we only had 2 weeks and the number of witnesses, what do you anticipate in terms of length of these deliberations?
Well, you got to keep in mind, right now we have 16 people, although 4 of them will be sequestered off.
We had 1 kicked off. We have 15.
Okay, right. We got 15 now. So 3 of those 15 will be sent to another room by themselves, no cell phones, no TV, nothing.
Right.
Just to hang out for this whole 4 or 5 days, however long this takes. And then you've got the 12 jurors who come from all over Harris County, different ages, different race groups. They don't know each other. So you've got 12 completely different perspectives, and they've all got to come to an agreement. If they're split, even 11 to 1 way or another, that's not a verdict. So you've got to have 12 people come together for a unanimous verdict. That's going to take a while.
And we've had a very diversified jury and one that's been focused. I will tell you, they're taking their notes diligently, which is why I'm wondering, what are you anticipating? You said about 4 to 5 days, but that's what you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, if they come back before Friday, I'd be pretty surprised. Yeah, they're going to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, Casey Gonzalez, she's another attorney that we've been talking to, and she made this point on Friday. She said, listen, if this jury comes back very quickly, that's usually a bad sign for the defense. But she brought up the point, and you remember this, we were talking about this, that this actually might be a good thing for Gerald Goines.
Right, and what's weird about this case is when you watch it, because of who he is, you almost sometimes forget which side is which. And so Casey made a really good point that what would normally be good for the state, a quick verdict, probably comes back to, if it's a quick verdict, something we've been talking about for a while, that it's very difficult to convict a police officer. And if they come back quickly, I think she's exactly right.
And the reason why is because of the murder charge and people thinking that it was an overreach of the murder charge.
And the fact that this has been going on for, what, 5 years now?
Well, it's taken time, but the overreach of the murder charge, Zach, is the real thing, because remember, Gerald Goines didn't fire at all into the house. He did not shoot Dennis Tuttle. He did not shoot Regina Nicholas. But he is facing the murder charge because he has a felony tampering with the government document. So anytime you have someone's death caused because of a felony beforehand, then you can face the murder charge.
Okay, following this case for us for years now. Our eyes and ears inside the courtroom, on the bench. Mario, thank you.
I was going to say very quick.
Yes, sir.
Gerald Goines is very confident.
Yeah.
You saw him in the video. He's smiling. He's there. He feels good about this.
Have you had the opportunity to talk to him at all?
Well, there's a gag order, but he came up to me on the very first day. And he said, he walks over to me and he walks like this. He's walking slow. And he said, hey, I just want to say thank you for you guys being fair over the last few years about telling this story. He said, you guys have been really fair. I said, I have a sense. I said, your attorney's right there. You can't talk to me.
Attorneys quickly said, stop,
I said, you can't talk to me. I said, Nicole, he's talking to me. I said, you know, there's a gag order. And she's like this, you know, just jokingly, because I'm not going to get information. But I said, I have a sense that you do want to talk to me at some point after this. And he said, yeah. But he also has to deal with a federal case, remember?
Yeah.
There's the state, and then there's federal charges on this.
Mario and Joe, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. It is 8:42. We'll be right back.